Chargers Powder Hour podcast is back for another episode. Colin Appel, Miles Raruka here. We are your co-host. The Chargers face a very tough 8-3 Baltimore Ravens team tonight on Sunday Night Football. Another primetime game for our Bolts. My man, how we doing? It's been a few days since we've last recorded. We've had the holiday weekend, which kind of messed up our recording schedule a little bit, but how you doing? And how was your holiday?
Yeah, great, man. Back at home, was able to spend a lot of time with the family last few days. As you can see, setup's a little bit different. I'm just been chilling here, and we're really excited. I think your folks are coming over actually for the game tonight, and we're
Okay.
gonna get some tacos and probably some cervezas flowing. And I'm not feeling great about the game itself, but I will always cherish seeing our boys take the field just because I know once May rolls around and we've had a few months without football, I'm gonna be wishing that we had days like this where I'm looking forward to a game. So regardless of the outcome, regardless of how the season's gone, I'm still gonna sit back and enjoy what I can see out on the field, man. So holidays went great though. Like I said, great to see the family again. Your first holiday down in Arizona, how did that go for you?
It was good, man. My folks came down, and yeah, we ate a ton. We ate a lot of good food too. We cooked a lot of food, so we didn't really ever go out to eat, which was nice for a change. We just made some really good meals at home. Chilled by the bonfire a little bit. We went to a Thanksgiving Day parade here in one of the smaller towns around the Phoenix area. So it was a lot of fun, man. Yeah, just getting to see family, enjoying the beautiful weather out here in Arizona, and yeah, it was my first holiday. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be having any white Christmases like you might be accustomed to here in
No,
Nebraska. So I mean, I
definitely
woke
not.
up. It is currently 25 degrees here. Feels like 15 outside, and I'm sure you're probably rocking with some 70-degree weather or whatnot. So
Yeah, it's nice, man. I get weather updates from back home, and I'm like, I'm not mad about it at all. So
yeah, you're like, yeah, fuck you guys. I'm here. I left you guys in the dust. So
exactly, it's golfing season right now, so
I know
I'm gonna catch up to
you have
a lot of
year-round golf
friends.
access. So I'm jealous of that especially.
Exactly. So, yeah, man, it was good, and I'm excited to jump into this game. It's a big game, another big game. Chargers really kind of teetering. If they do have any playoff hopes left, it's you know teetering. So they have to get going. They have to get going fast, not only in this game, but also just with the rest of the schedule down the stretch. The season is slowly turning into December, which means that is slowly coming to an end, and there is a lot of work left to be done for these 2023 Chargers. So, I guess just jumping straight into it, man. Straight into the injury report. Good news for the Chargers this week when it comes to the injury report. If you haven't already seen it, um, not a lot of news, not a lot of action on the Chargers side, which is a good thing. I think the two, biggest, or I guess really just the biggest, or no, excuse me, the two biggest names on the list this week: Gerald Everett and Jalen Guyton, who are both questionable. So again, Justin Herbert could be without a couple of weapons, and he could be working with a you know very thin receiving core. So that is a concern for the Chargers. But other than that, it's really, I mean, nothing really else. Nothing changes really. I mean, tight end Nick Vannett and safety JT Woods have already been ruled out. But those are two guys that really don't move the needle at all for this team. They're obviously, depth pieces. But yeah, nothing crazy on the Charger side. Uh, but the Baltimore side is a little different. I'll let you
Yeah.
dive into that unless you have any other thoughts on our side of it.
I just wanted to add real quick. I already did see a report via Chargers Pulse on Instagram. Love those guys. Shout out to you guys. But per rap sheet, Gerald Everett and Jalen Guyton are expected to go today, per this morning. So I would
Okay.
say probably bearing really any pregame setbacks, I'm expecting those two guys to be out. And like you said, Nick Vannett, JT Woods, both out, but nothing crazy there. But yeah, getting into the Baltimore Ravens side of the injury report is really where, we can maybe build up a little bit of confidence going into this game tonight. Mark Andrews ankle, he's out for the season, so I'm surprised that he's listed on their injury report. But yeah, notable. This will be his first full absence, I believe, of the season. I believe he was just hurt last year. Odell Beckham Jr. questionable. He did not participate to limited to full this week. Zay Flowers went from limited to did not participate to full. He is also questionable. Malik Harrison, a linebacker with a groin injury, is doubtful after a did not participate on Friday. Marlon Humphrey with a calf was limited all week. He is questionable. And then your other big names, Ronnie Stanley, with a knee, was limited Wednesday, practice full Thursday, and then did not participate on Friday. So pretty weird, pretty weird practice plan for him this week, but he is questionable as well. And then linebacker Trent Simpson is out with a concussion. And I would like to think that pretty much wraps up the big names for the Ravens. I am a owner of both Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham in fantasy, and I believe the report this morning was that they are both planning on playing tonight. Um, but yeah, a few these other guys, especially Marlon Humphreys, the other really big name, him and Ronnie Stanley really are two big names to watch out for come game time for what their status is going to be tonight.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, yeah, big names there. I also have OBJ on my fantasy team, so I hear you on that one. But yeah, Mark Andrews and Malik Harrison. I mean, Mark Andrews already listed as out. I mean, that is a big loss for the Baltimore offense. I mean, that is Lamar's safety blanket. When everyone when everyone else is covered, he's going to go back and look at Mark Andrews. So that's huge because that changes kind of how they're going to operate maybe down in the red zone a little bit. Certain situations, third downs have obviously been an issue for this Chargers defense all year, and you know not having Mark Andrews out there definitely helps. In some of those situations. So that's a big one. And then the other one that's doubtful is linebacker Malik Harrison with the groin. Didn't practice, or I guess wasn't even on the injury list until Friday, and then didn't practice. So something happened in between Thursday and Friday there to land him on the doubtful side of things. And I don't follow this Ravens team very closely, so I don't know what kind of role he has, but he is a linebacker, and along with Trent Simpson, who is also out and a linebacker, that's just something I noticed with a couple linebackers that are possibly out of this game, again, which could be a difference maker, especially in the run game with this Chargers offense, and some of these you know guys working over the middle of the field.
Yeah, I'm just now looking, going back to Marlon Humphrey here, which is really my biggest name, one of the best corners in the league, in my opinion. There is a lot less confidence that he will be able to go tonight than the likes of Odell Beckham or Zay Flowers. So
That's huge.
definitely going to be, I would guess that this is going to be one of those things that goes right up to kickoff and just kind of tests it out before the game. And then I guess we'll just kind of go from there. But yeah, that would be a massive absence for that Baltimore secondary if there was no Marlon Humphrey for them.
Yeah. Yeah. This injury report really is a big part of this game, a big part of this matchup, just because, I mean, I don't want to say historically, but over the last few seasons, these are two teams that have really been probably top of the list in the league as far as like just injury ridden, like cannot seem to get out of their own way with injuries and guys going down. Chargers have had a little bit better luck in the last two seasons. Not to say that they still haven't had some big losses, but for the most part, I think they're kind of turning the corner of that narrative a little bit. But the Ravens are one of those teams that are kind of like it. It's still very prevalent. And you see it preseason, you see it early on in the season, losing guys, losing running backs. They lost J.K. Dobbins again, um, with some other names too that I just can't think of off the top of my head. But they're just a very banged up team. So they're also a very tough team. They come from arguably one of the toughest divisions in national football, the AFC North, and I think it says a lot about the culture of the team, about the coach, um, obviously the roster, the organization, but they're just a very hard nosed team, and they have to be because in that division you have the Steelers, you have the Browns, you have the Bengals, so it's eat or be eaten essentially in that division. So I don't think. I mean, I think this is still going to be a very scrappy game, but this is. I mean, this injury report is is huge for this Chargers team. I think it's a really big, really great opportunity to get back on track against a good but banged up team.
Yeah, it definitely gives me a little bit of confidence. I mean, I know that this is a game that probably just looking at each roster, it's a game that we probably will lose by a decent margin. But if they're going to be out a few guys, then just any little bit you can take. So I'll take what we can get.
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect transition into our keys to victory tonight for Chargers Ravens. I'll go ahead and start us off. I think so. For me, the biggest key to victory is just going to be getting this offense in a rhythm, getting this offense, moving the chains, moving the ball, and spreading it out from the running game to some of the receivers. We talked about it just a minute ago. We don't know if Jalen Guyton's going to be out there, um, Gerald Everett, although they're trending likely. You still want to be able to spread the ball around, and you hope that this receiving core has a night, and QJ makes some plays, Jalen Guyton, because Keenan's going to, that's a given. But for me, it's really just establishing a rhythm on offense and letting Kellen Moore and Justin Herbert cook. And I don't think it's going to be easy. I think this is a scrappy team, no matter who's out there, who's hurt, whatever. But for me, it's just finding a rhythm on offense and putting points on the board.
Yeah, and I think at this point in the season, we might, we're heading towards not really playing for much in this season. I'm really just I honestly just want to watch the offense play and turn off the game when the defense is out on the field. Because at this point, for
Yeah.
my enjoyability, it's seeing, Justin Herbert out there layering throws to guys like Keenan Allen, watching Gerald Everett, pound over dudes, watching Austin Eckler's slow ass take a screen for somehow 30 yards. It's from an enjoyability perspective at this point in the season, that's the kind of stuff that I as a fan want to see. And that's the kind of stuff that's keeping me watching these games regardless if we win or lose. So I completely agree with that. For my first key to victory, I'm going to go to the other side of the ball. I mean, we talk about defending the run game all the time. I think we did a really good job of it last week against Green Bay. I think we've seen a step up. I believe we're like 20th in the league in stopping the run this year, which is significantly improved compared to where we were like last year and the year before. But
Yeah.
a team like this with such a versatile weapon like Lamar Jackson, especially in the run game, and a dude like Gus Edwards that is just such a dog, that's just a ground and pound back, being able to not just stop them, but being able to, stop the read option, being able to stop Lamar scrambling on pass plays that aren't open. It's so frustrating when we play teams like Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes runs for like 80 yards on us because it's just all, great coverage by the defense, but you don't have a spy anywhere and it's just free reign from there. I have a bad feeling we're going to see a lot of that tonight. And if somehow, some way we can control that aspect of the run game, I mean, it's going to help out so much with our defense, helping them, get some stops and get the ball back in our offense's hands.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost surprised I didn't start with defense myself because I know that's the obvious one. But I do think, I mean, just to counter, I mean, I agree with everything you just said, and that's the reason I did go on the offensive side first. It's just mainly from the mindset of we're gonna have to outscore what this defense is gonna give up, and that's kind of what winning games in 2023 has become. And look, the Ravens don't give up a lot of points. So I don't think we'll need 30, 35 points, 40 points to beat them. But I think even getting to 28, 27 could be an uphill battle against a defense like this. Can they do it? 100%. And yeah, I think, for my second key to victory, I'm going to flip over to the defensive side as well, because we know what this defense is at this point. They're going to give up a shit ton of yards, probably give up a couple explosive plays. Point wise, they're kind of middle of the pack, as far as giving up points per game. But that really doesn't tell the whole story of this defense or of the scheme. So I'm asking for the defense in tonight's game is to win the battle of the red zone. Like, I want to see Justin Tucker have a career night. Like, let him kick 4 field goals, 5 field goals, and let that be that. Like, just keep these guys out of the end zone, and yeah, containing Lamar. Containing the run game from that offense is going to be a task. It has been better, so that's good. But for me, I just know like this offense is going to get yards. Lamar Jackson's going to have a night, I think, on the ground, especially. No Mark Andrews, that doesn't help him, but they're still talented enough on offense to move the ball on this defense. So I'm really just asking this defense to buckle down in the red zone, and that could play huge in a game like this, where I think both sides are probably going to be able to move the ball pretty well for the most part. But it really comes down to what teams are you know allowing 3 points instead of 7, because that could be a big difference maker.
Yeah, I think, especially this year, just looking at the games that we've won via defensively, it's pretty much Chicago and the Jets game, essentially.
Minnesota
And
too.
Minnesota, yeah, I mean, we gave up a lot of yards, but they did clutch up at the end. So, but like fully defensive games, games that we could have won without offense, definitely looking at, that New York game and the Chicago game, which, I think it would be unfair to say that this defense has totally been absolutely horrendous in all facets since Brandon Staley took over. We had that one massive primetime game last year against the Dolphins, who were sitting in a very similar spot where the Ravens are right now, and we gave up 17 points and came out with a win. So I mean, maybe that side of the ball is just due for a kind of a game like that. And if so, this would be the perfect opportunity to, you know, bust some of those play calls out, please, Brandon Staley. You have nothing to lose at this point. So I just think, might as well, if the ship's going down, we got to ride with it. So this defense is due for one of those games against a really good offense. So we'll have to see what happens. My final, maybe not necessarily key to victory, more of a something to look for is, man, we have not won a game in the Navies yet, as far as I can remember. So this would be a really great opportunity to get that first win in the Navies tonight on prime time. Let's hope that we can break that curse.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the Navy unis for a second, and that immediately makes me feel not so good about this game. But well, I mean, who knows? Maybe tonight is the night we break the curse of the Navy uniform alternate jersey. So we'll have to see. Yeah, that's a good point, because let's see, they're 0-3 now
I
in those
believe
uniforms.
so. I think so, yeah.
I attended one of them. I attended the Patriots loss.
We lost to
And they
the
also
Patriots,
lost to
the
the
Bills,
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Bills, Seahawks. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Brutal, man. So yeah, that's a little storyline to kind of keep an eye on. Any other keys to victory though for this matchup?
no, I think, you covered anything else I had, so that's really all I got.
All righty, man. Well, we're gonna transition into predictions for this shorter episode of Chargers Powder Hour. Final predictions for Chargers Ravens tonight on Sunday Night Football. Let's hear them.
Yeah, as much as I love our boys, I'm a realist at heart, and I think that there's too many things Baltimore does that's going to give us trouble defensively and offensively. They have one of the better units defensively in the league, and this is just an offense with a playmaker like Zay Flowers, with a guy like Lamar Jackson. You know, I feel like they have a new running back every week that comes out of nowhere and goes crazy. So yeah, I don't love our chances tonight. I think that this is most likely a game in which our defense can't stop a nosebleed. And yeah, at the end of the day, I'm gonna take the Ravens 31-17. I just
Oh, damn.
I really don't think that this is gonna be a pretty one. And
31-17.
I really hope I'm wrong, man, but I the Ravens are one of those teams that scares the shit out of me consistently. And especially this year, you know, they're top of the AFC for a reason. They have a lot of really good wins. I'll go 31-20 actually, just to make it a little bit better, but I don't think that this is gonna be one of those things
Maybe
that
it's like 24-20 for most of the game and a garbage time
yeah,
TD.
they put it away like late in the game. I think it will remain close for the most of the game, but good teams, better coach teams, you know, a guy like John Harbaugh, they know how to pull it out in the end. And I just think, you know, there's not a lot of reasons to be inspired about this Chargers team, especially on the defensive side of the ball against a high potency offense like this. I don't love it.
Okay. 31-20 Chargers drop into the Ravens. I feel a lot of what you were saying in that prediction. For me, I'm gonna come from a different angle. Because this game gives me similar vibes of the Detroit game a couple weeks ago, where coming in like just you know the pessimistic side of me, immediately was looking at that matchup and just being like, oh my god, we're gonna get killed by the Lions. Like, they looked really tough against the Chiefs, early in the season, and they're 8-2, whatever their record was coming in. Just one of the better teams in football, and at that point, I felt like it could be close, but we're probably still gonna drop it. And I have a similar feeling for tonight's matchup. However, the injury report is really what's selling me on my prediction here. All right. So
Wow.
just similar to the Detroit game, I don't see this being a bad loss. I don't see this being a 31-17 or 31-20. I think it'll be a lot closer just given uh the nature of these Chargers games. And also Detroit, or excuse me, Baltimore is very banged up. I mean, just going through that injury report, I was like, dang, those are some big names. And even if they're not necessarily out or inactive, I think it could play into this game. And they're already missing a big piece of their offense in Mark Andrews. Obviously, they've got some other guys out for the season, so they have some guys that are going to be going tonight that probably aren't 100% in Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham Jr., which are two of their biggest receivers. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of a wild card, this game for me. If you asked me yesterday, my prediction probably would have been different. But today I woke up and it's just a wild card attitude mentality. Uh, I think, and this is playing into my prediction as well, it would be the most Chargers thing ever to get a win on Sunday night in prime time, to maybe fool everyone just one more time, and so, oh, okay, like playoffs are technically still on the table. Maybe we can do this. Um, so they delay the heartbreak another week this week. I think the Chargers beat the Ravens on Sunday Night Football
Wow.
in a close game. I think it's your typical Chargers game that's going to be down to the wire. The only difference is, one out of those 10 games, I would say the ball bounces the Chargers way. and they make that big play in the fourth quarter that just completely seals the deal. So I think they're due for one of those games, kind of like what you were saying earlier with on the defensive side. I think this team is due just for a close, sweat it out, come out on the right side of it victory. But in the end, I really think it'll just annoy me more because I like to me, I'm already kind of I'm leaning in the boat of it's too little too late for this roster already. So, or this team. So we'll see. A win tonight could, keep those hopes alive. But for how much longer, I don't know. But I do think the Chargers squeak out a victory. If you want a final score, I'll go 24-21. Bolts.
I really hope you're right, dude. That's quite a prediction, and I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right. This would be just so Chargers of us just to give this fan base one last gasp on the year and then, go lose to like New England or something. So,
Exactly.
I mean, that would be very Charger-esque. And I mean, just for the sake of, feeling good about myself for this week going forward, that would do it. So I hope you nail this prediction and I hope that we can get out of there with a victory. For my bowl prediction, I don't really have anything crazy. Why not, let's just go with, I predicted it last week. I'm gonna roll with it again. Give me 3 straight 100-yard games for Keenan after tonight. So,
Okay.
we'll go
I
with
like
that.
that. I like that. Um, yeah, Keenan, I think, he's gonna do his thing. I don't see why. I mean, the targets are still gonna be there. He's probably gonna catch anywhere from 8 to 10 balls. And yeah, I mean that's just kind of a given at this point. So I like that. Keep that streak rolling for him. My bold prediction is, let me think about this one just for a second. I have a couple stirring around in my head here. Uh, I'll go Justin Herbert, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, no interceptions.
Yeah, I think our
Give me a
predictions go.
vintage Justin Herbert primetime performance, one that can at least hopefully add to the narrative that it's not his
His
fault.
fault. It's not his fault. It's not your fault, Justin. But yeah, our predictions can definitely go hand in hand here. I'm really hoping that we get some flashes of that 2018 wild card game in Baltimore. Shout out to Chenna Nwosu for locking that one up for us. That's going to be an all timer for me.
Yeah,
Um,
no chance when Gus Bradley was running that scheme. So
yeah, yeah, no kidding.
Brandon Staley's like, yeah, oh, that worked. Yeah,
Yeah,
let me do whatever I
let me
think's
do the
best.
opposite.
Yeah,
So, but hey, we'll see what happens come tonight, man. But I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm just gonna take advantage of every opportunity to watch our boys while it's football season. So
that's
yeah.
right. Watch him now because in the dead days of winter, you're gonna miss him.
6 months from now, I'm gonna be longing for this. So I'm gonna,
On a cold March morning, early March morning, you're gonna be like, damn, what I would give right now just
yeah,
to hear the
it's just gonna be
dun 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 dun.
dum 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 dum. Yeah, no kidding, man. So, but yeah, that's about all I got. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, this is going to be a short episode, but we are going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Chargers Powder Hour, episode number 99. What you got?
Jerry.
No, hell no. Don't
I
ever
mean,
speak that name on this podcast.
I know. We're just gonna go. We're gonna go Joey Bosa, rookie year, Joey.
There you go.
I
Rookie
didn't.
rookie edition Joey Bosa. I
I
love
know
it.
that there's a bunch more guys that have more 99, but I got. It's a Sunday morning. I'm not gonna look through everybody with
That's
99.
the easy answer. All right, we'll roll with it. All right, man. Yeah, episode number 99, closing in on the 100 mark. That's crazy. The 100th episode of Chargers Powder Hour coming up. So we'll have to do something fun for that. But Yeah, we'll go ahead and get out of here. Make sure you guys are following us on social media, on Instagram and Twitter at Powder Hour Pod LA for all the latest news and updates about the podcast and about our bolts. Bolt up. Peace.